Hello everyone, I'm Avinash. Welcome to my channel. So in today's topic, I'm going to discuss about geological timescale. Before that, I'm going to introduce about the how life was originated on the earth. So geological timescale and human evolution are very important topics for the CSIR UGC NET, ICMR JRF, DBT JRF, GATE and other life science examinations including PG and PhD entrances of various universities. Okay, before going to topic, let me discuss a general thing. Do you have a habit to look at night sky? Yeah, we all have done during our childhood. Still, some having the habit to count the stars. The light what we are seeing from that sky, that means from that particular stars, is not emitted today. So it was emitted millions to billion years back or millions to billion years ago. That means they are very far away from us. So origin of life on the earth is considered as a unique event in the history of universe. Why it is unique event? Because still we could not find life on any planet. Even we are seeing some of planets having habitable zones, habitable conditions, but we can't able to find out the particular organism because the conditions uh, what made living organisms to arise is impossible in another planets. Even if it is possible also, the life did not reach at this stage, like it was reached to humans and other higher eukaryotes. Maybe it may be present in the simplest forms that we can't able to find out with our telescopes and other equipment what we have today to observe the other planets and other star systems. So that's why it is a unique event, because maybe there is no presence of any life, or maybe there is no presence of advanced civilization as like us. There might be present, but we can't find it now. So theory suggested that universe evolved by a process called Big Bang. It is a huge explosion from singularity 20 billion years ago. So the Big Bang was happened 20 billion years ago. At that time, there is only a single thing, that we can't say it is a molecule or it is a atom. Just there is a singularity. From that, through Big Bang, a huge explosion was happened and it was reached to this stage, and still our universe is expanding continuously. So some scientists will say it's 14 billion years ago, some will say 13.5 billion years ago. So let me consider generally 20 billion years ago. Okay, our Milky Way galaxy where our earth is present was formed 14 billion years ago, and the earth was formed 4.5 billion years ago from large clouds and dust. So all the star systems, planets, everything including asteroids or meteoroids, all are formed only from the large clouds, dust and gas only. Okay, so how we know that life exactly originated at a specific time? That is, the theories and experimental evidences stating that the life was originated on the earth 3.5 billion years ago. Is it possible to go and check the same time? It is impossible, but there are some three possibilities. The first one is a fossil evidence. So with the help of fossils we can analyze or we can understand when that particular organisms lived and when that particular life originated. Okay, so another possibility is wormholes. We can't create wormhole because it needs a lot of energy. And another one is the time machine invention. It may be not possible, it might be possible in future. Okay, so there are several theories and experimental evidences. They are stating that life was originated 3.5 billion years ago from simple organic molecules. So remember that simple organic molecules that act as the molecular building blocks for the life. So what are that simple organic molecules? Means amino acids, sugars, nucleotides, lipids and other molecules which are necessary for the formation of life. Okay, these simple organic molecules are produced by the condensation and polymerization and other chemical reactions of inorganic elements. So inorganic elements formed the organic elements. These organic elements again condensed and polymerized and produced the first living organism. And this living organism become the self-replicating organism, and there is a specialized self-replicating molecule also generated, that is the genetic material that we know well. But one thing we want to say, that the first genetic material which was originated on the earth is not DNA. According to the so many proofs, the first life having the genetic material as RNA. But nowadays so many research happening and our technology also improving. So recently some scientist group identified that first formed life having the genetic material in the form of DNA and RNA hybrid. That is not proven 100%. Let we see in the future how it will, or how it is possible. That means the DNA and RNA hybrid. Okay, so let we go for the next one. Okay, the earliest self-replicating genetic material in the primitive earth, on the primitive earth, that is earliest earth having RNA as genetic material. That means the earliest organism having the RNA as genetic material. That's why the time when that organisms having RNA as genetic material was called as RNA world. And we know that RNA can act as enzyme, that is ribozyme, and it can catalyze the biochemical reactions. So just take an example, the ribosome having rRNA, that is ribosomal RNA plus ribosomal proteins, it can synthesize the proteins in our cells. Okay, but okay, RNA was the first genetic material, but why DNA was evolved means RNA based life was limited by the high mutation rate. RNA can undergo high mutations when compared to the DNA, that we can see as example from nowadays, that is the COVID-19 or the coronavirus is spreading and mutating very fastly because it contains RNA. Okay, even DNA containing organisms also can mutate, but RNA can mutate more than the DNA. Okay, as well as RNA can undergo hydrolysis very easily because of presence of 2' OH group in the ribose sugar. Okay, but 3' OH group also there, but 3' OH group will attach to the phosphate. 2' OH group is more susceptible to the hydrolysis in RNA containing living organisms. That means the living organisms which having RNA as genetic material will undergo this kind of hydrolysis and high mutation rate. So we can see nowadays most viruses will have RNA as genetic material, and we can't see any eukaryote having the RNA as genetic material. Okay, so we have already discussed the possibilities, how we can understand when the life was formed, how the life was formed. So the best only one possibility is the fossil evidences. So fossil evidences suggesting that the first life was formed 3.5 billion years ago, and we have fossil evidences. We have only fossil evidences from the 2 to 3 billion years ago. So the earliest cell we can't say whether it is a prokaryote or eukaryote or some other archaea or virus. It is the protocell because it contains very simple molecules and which contain very simple compartments. Okay, so these protocells are more primitive than the prokaryotic cells. If you see, there are 3 domains on earth for the life. One is the prokaryotes, another one is archaea, and another one is the eukaryotes. So if you see, prokaryotes are the most simple organisms than the eukaryotes. So these protocells which were formed on the earth, that primitive earth 3.5 billion years ago, are more primitive than the prokaryotes. Okay, the earliest life evidences exist in the form of stromatolites. So the protocells, we can't able to see with our naked eye. Then how scientists were identified? It is impossible to get the fossils of those kind of organisms in the maximum conditions. So in the rare conditions, we can obtain some of the microorganism fossils also, but the earlier earth or primitive earth conditions, we can't get the fossils, but we have evidences that life was existed, life was started on the earth 3.5 billion years ago in the form of stromatolites. Actually, stromatolites are not organisms. So scientists are believing that the early organisms which were formed on the earth formed a layers on the sea surface. That means they are accumulated more at one place, and they formed a group of layers on the sea surface. So after their death, they left some of the mineralized layers. We can say those are the chemical fossils also, because fossils means it does not only having in the form of a skeleton or hard shells or any cell, direct cell form or impression form. It can be in the chemical fossil also. And the protocells now become the prokaryotes, archaea and eukarya, throughout this 3.5 billion years ago. So the protocells, if it want to become like this, it require enzymes and metabolic reactions. That means metabolic systems it require. Why enzymes and metabolic systems are required means, for the replication it requires a lot of components like proteins and other biomolecules. So if it want to synthesize these biomolecules, it want to acquire or absorb the nutrients, whether those are in the form of organic or inorganic on the earth, it want to observe. So to observe, it require enzyme and metabolic systems, as well as to process these also, to metabolize, either for catabolism or for anabolism it require metabolic reactions. So the protocells, what were formed on the early earth or the primitive earth, slowly generated the enzymes and metabolic, and finally this stage was reached. Okay, let me see the next one. So already we have discussed that three domains of life was arised on the earth. So one is archaea, prokaryotes and eukaryotes. We know that archaea and eukaryotes are more closely related when compared to the other prokaryotes like bacteria. Even the archaea is also a prokaryote. Sorry, instead of saying bacteria, I mentioned it here as a prokaryote. So archaea, bacteria and eukaryotes. So archaea and eukaryotes are more closely related phylogenetically when compared to the bacteria. And scientists are stating that the archaea and prokarya both evolved 2 to 3 billion years ago. But when the eukaryotes were evolved, here there is a confusion. The molecular clock suggesting one time, and the chemical fossils that we were found suggesting other time. Okay, so the according to the chemical fossils, like certain fats which were found in the Australia rocks, suggesting that the early eukaryote life was evolved 2.7 billion years ago, because these fats are only the characteristic metabolism of certain eukaryotic cells. Okay, so that means the eukaryotic cells only may be able to generate these kind of fats when compared to the prokaryotes. Okay, but molecular clock suggesting that 2.2 to 1.8 billion years ago, and slowly the eukaryotes evolved. Eukaryotes evolved organelles. Sorry, eukaryotes Eukaryotes obtained mitochondria, chloroplast, nucleus, mitosis, meiosis, everything. Okay, these processes are not happened immediately. So it took time to reach this situation or reach this stage. So let me see how mitochondria and chloroplast was evolved. As all we know that the mitochondria and chloroplast become endosymbionts to the prokaryotic host cells. That means that directly eukaryote was not evolved. Before that, it was a prokaryotic cell only. So just for example, see in that picture, in the first diagram, you can see that there is a prokaryotic host cell and alpha proteobacterium, or we can say it is purple bacteria also, that was already having DNA as genetic material, and it slowly becomes symbiont of this particular prokaryotic host cell. So the alpha proteobacterium or the purple bacteria finally become the mitochondria. So that's why the mitochondria and chloroplast still having the genetic materials and its own protein synthesizing machinery also. So according to those kind of evidences only, they were found these mitochondria and chloroplast were also organisms one of the time, that means some billion years back. Okay, and if you see chloroplast, so some people will say cyanobacterium, some people will say green sulfur bacteria, which was become symbiont into the cells which already having mitochondria. So see, for example, some thousand cells, for example, some thousand cells obtained the mitochondria in the form of alpha proteobacterium. Okay, so in that 500 cells again obtained the cyanobacterium or the green sulfur bacteria, and this cyanobacterium or green sulfur bacteria obtained become the chloroplast in those organisms. So the 500 cells which only having mitochondria alone become the animalia eukaryote, and the cells which obtained the chloroplast in the form of cyanobacterium or green sulfur bacteria become the plant eukaryotic cell. If you see eukaryotic protista organisms like paramecium and euglena, these kind amoeba, these all are the protista organisms of eukaryotes. Okay, these organisms lack mitochondria. That means they directly doesn't have any mitochondria, but they having mitochondrial genes in the directly in the nuclear genome. So these are called harbor genes. So it can synthesize the proteins which are required for the ATP energy from the directly nuclear genome. It can utilize the other cell organelles for the ATP synthesis. Even the plasma membrane can act as the ATP synthesizing machinery that already we can see in the prokaryotic cells. We have already discussed that some theories and experimental evidences suggesting that the life was originated 3.5 billion years ago. Let me see one example of experiment, one example of theory. First, we will see Urey-Miller experiment. So, Urey-Miller are two scientists who created the conditions of primitive Earth or early Earth in the laboratory. If you see this diagram, this is their experiment, and they are providing heat source. Heat source means it does not mean it's having a 30 degrees or 40 degrees. It's 800 degrees temperature heat source they provided, because there are a lot of proofs that early Earth or the primitive Earth having a higher temperatures, as well as there are sparks from the sky also. uh, Sparks from the that means the sparks what we can see during the rainy time. So those kind of sparks also was produced during the primitive earth conditions, and there is no proper organic molecules, but they were provided the hydrogen, methane, ammonia, those kind of molecules, because they are believing that those molecules only present on the primitive earth. So they provided gases also, and they provided electrical sparks, and finally they were observed after 1 week there is a production of amino acids, hydroxy acids, aliphatic acids, sugars and urea in that particular instrument. So that means in that particular glass bottle. So they are suggesting that these kind of reactions, chemical reactions were happened. That means the electrical sparks also gave some become a catalyst for the chemical reactions. We can't say it only done, it become a catalyst, because everything is energy. Our metabolic reactions also require some free energy. We don't know what is that free energy till people will say simply it's a free energy which was released during the breakdown of molecules, which utilized during the formation of molecules, but we don't know what is the form of free energy. Okay, like that some of the energy was mediated or catalyzed these all chemical reactions to produce the final organism. There were also found glycine, alanine and aspartic amino acids in the glass flask. Okay, so let me see the theory that suggesting that life was originated 3.5 billion years ago. Oparin and Haldane experiment, we can't say it is experiment. They produced a theory that how life was originated on the early Earth. So we all know that 3.5 billion years ago on the primitive Earth, that is also in the oceans or seas of Earth, because the life could not possible on the terrestrial life, because terrestrial life was not supported for those all chemical reactions to occur. So still they are believing, and there are some proofs that the life was originated only in the aquatic environment. Okay, so the inorganic molecules through a chemical reactions produced a organic molecules. These organic molecules undergo more chemical reaction, condensation and polymerization, and finally produced a protocell. And one thing I want to say, this protocell also known as universal common ancestor. So universal common ancestor gave rise to the bacteria, archaea and eukaryotes. Okay, so let me see what are their theory. So some points here are there. One is the spontaneous generation, abiogenesis. Here abiogenesis means from non-living compounds a living organism was evolved. Okay, so that abiogenesis or the spontaneous generation only could possible during the primitive earth conditions. That is impossible now, because the primitive earth condition is reduced environment. That means it is having hydrogen in the air, not oxygen. Oxygen was not evolved. That means free form of oxygen was not formed or evolved during that time. But oxygen atoms are present in the form of water, carbon dioxide and other components. Okay, and high temperature, just we have seen that 800 degrees, even more higher temperature also present on the primitive earth condition, and lightning and solar radiation, these all acted as catalyst for those all chemical reactions. And first living arose from simple inorganic and organic compounds, that is abiogenesis, and this transformation extended over a billion years and finally reached this stage. Okay, so this is about the introduction of how life was originated. In the next subsequent classes we will see the geological time scale, specifically plant and vertebrate evolution and human evolution along with the previous year questions. If you like this video, please like, share and subscribe to my channel. And if you can't able to understand any topic, you can give a comment so I can try to explain well. Thank you.